This might be the best shade match I ever put on my face. Like, what? There is something kind of weird going on in this transition. Today I'm back at it testing some new drugstore makeup. New to me, that is. These are all products I've been sleeping on, whether they're 2 months old or 2 years old. It's about time I try them. I have stuff from Physicians Formula, Pixi, Wet n Wild, and more, so we're just gonna get straight into it. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Miranda. Welcome to my channel where we talk all things budget beauty. If that sounds interesting to you, then become the newest member of the Slashed squad by hitting subscribe and the bell icon. Starting out with a product that I actually got a lot of requests to test out when it was first released a little earlier this year, but I was nervous to put it on my face. But it recently showed up in my mailbox. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It foundation. So the reason I was nervous to try this foundation is because I'm finally at a place where I'm pretty happy with my skin. If you follow my channel, then you know that it's actually looking really calm right now. Skincare routine was a few videos ago. And just like all of the other products in this line, this foundation seems pretty heavily fragranced. And in fact, when looking at the ingredients list on the back of the bottle, fragrance / parfum is like smack dab in the middle of the ingredients, and ingredients labels are usually listed from highest concentration to lowest, with fragrance being in the middle versus like down lower. That scares me. But it is paraben-free, vegan, oil-free, and gluten-free, and it is labeled for all skin types. So we're gonna try it. Okay, here's light to medium. That looks like a decent match. Oh yeah, this will work. Now, that fragrance hit me. Oh, I'm nervous. Please don't break me out. This is considered a medium to full buildable foundation. Right off the bat, we're getting a ton of coverage, so happy about that. Probably means I can actually get away with less product. And this color match though. I'm usually light to medium in Physicians foundations, but I don't know if I've ever had this close of a match. It's weird because I just have like a hint of yellow in my undertone, but a lot of foundations will either go too yellow or orange on me or too pink. It's really hard to find light, medium, neutral shades. And this might be the best shade match I ever put on my face. Like, what? I don't even really see much of a difference between my face and my neck right now. This is crazy. The fragrance was pretty strong right off the bat. It's not quite lingering on my face. My skin looks so smooth. There is just a slight radiance to it, but it's not dewy. All of my pores are really blurred. Really curious to see how it wears throughout the day, but honestly, first impressions are going strong. Next up, I wanted to test this brow pencil, and again, this just makes me nervous. This is the Revlon Colorstay brow pencil. It is a retractable pencil, but what I find is really weird about the shape of this is that it's got this flat edge with a pointed tip, and I just don't know how much precision I'm gonna get with this. So I'm gonna just try to use the edge of this to create my outline for my brow. Oh wow, this is a really soft formula. It goes on pretty strong. I have to have a very light hand with this. I'm gonna try to use the flat side to sort of shade in the brow. Also with this shape, I can see it getting dull quickly, and then you're gonna lose a lot of that precision. It's almost too soft of a formula to apply lightly. Okay, so for the most part, this doesn't look awful. It's a little heavier than I prefer, but it's not awful. I really did have to focus on keeping a light hand though. Now, as far as the shape of this pencil now, I'm already sort of losing any sharp edges that I could create those thin, precise strokes with. You probably know that I prefer the really, really fine-tipped brow pencils, like the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. That's sort of been my go-to drugstore brow pencil lately. And because even though that one might dull from a point, it's so small that you'll always end up with those hair-like strokes. This is now turning into like just thicker and thicker lines as I use it. Now, actually, before we move on, I just want to say, you know, this foundation is setting, and I already feel like it's creasing in some of my deeper face lines, like on my forehead and in my laugh lines. So I'm just using like the clean side of the sponge I used to apply to hopefully pick up any excess product that might be bunching. And we'll just monitor it from there. Quickly, I'm gonna prime my eyes with the Milani eyeshadow primer. This is the e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadow palette in Hot Jalepeño. Now, I did do a video comparing, in general, the e.l.f. bite-sized palettes to the Wet n Wild 5-pan palettes, and I did come to the conclusion that I liked the Wet n Wild ones more. That extra shade just really unlocked more usability for me. But in that video, I did test out more of a subtle and neutral eyeshadow palette, so I wanted to see how e.l.f.'s bright and bold shades performed. So I'm gonna go into this medium green first. Now, another thing that drew me to this e.l.f. palette was when the Chipotle eyeshadow palette came out, I just couldn't see myself really gravitating toward that as a whole very often in my collection, but I thought what made that palette unique was the greens, and this was a good way to just add that missing component to my collection. So right now it's looking a little sheer, but pretty close to what it looks like in the pan. Let me get you a little closer. Is that better? Okay. Yeah, I'm really hoping that this maintains its color as we blend and blend it in with the other shades in the palette. Because I can already see it's kind of leaning a little gray or yellow. I don't know, I'm seeing some weird undertone. I'm finding that patting on the color and then buffing the edge does a little bit of a better job at retaining that color. Now, one thing that I believe I mentioned in that video where I compared the e.l.f. shadow to the Wet n Wild shadow is that the e.l.f. shadow was a little hard to blend. Like, it was really pigmented, but then it was hard to soften at the edges, and I am sort of getting that experience here as well. I feel like I need to add more product in order to get that blend going. It just kind of wants to sit where you place it, and that's that. So I'm gonna go into this darker green, and that'll be my outer corner and crease shade. Now this looks like it has more of a blue undertone, so let's see how this all blends together. This is where I'm on high alert for muddiness. Think we're doing okay. There is something kind of weird going on in this transition. I am getting a little bit of like a brown peekaboo where those shades overlap. Now, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, because I do believe that I said this in that Wet n Wild versus e.l.f. video, I felt like the Wet n Wild shades blended together and just looked more cohesive as a full look, more so than the e.l.f. shades. And I thought, okay, maybe it's just this palette, but I'm kind of getting the same vibe with this one. Like, this darker green has such a heavy blue undertone when the rest of the palette leans more yellow. I'm just gonna go in with my fingers because I think we've established that a lot of these satin shades look a lot more high impact when you apply with your fingers. Now this green, whew, that is gorgeous. Ooh yeah, I am on board with this color. I love this metallic lime. Finishing off with this gold. Okay, wait, is this gold or is it green? No, it's gold. It just almost looks green. Ooh, yeah, I knew that those two shades were gonna work well together. Pretty. All right, the next eye product that I wanna test out is another one from the Physicians Formula Butter Collection. This is the Matte Minoy Butter Eyeliner. This definitely piqued my interest because it's supposed to be a water-resistant, very long-lasting eyeliner with a flat matte finish while still feeling conditioning on the skin. But the reason why I was so eager to try this was because it's got a brush tip. Now, interestingly enough, this does not have the discernible butter fragrance that all the other products in this collection have. Oh, okay, so there is fragrance, but it's way lower, almost at the very end of the ingredients list. It is the 5th to last ingredient listed. I tried wiping off the excess, but it's still applying kind of a lot at once. The brush is a little thicker than I'm used to from other brush eyeliners. So we went really bold because I couldn't quite get the sharp point that I was looking for, so I kind of kept dragging it out a little bit. But for the most part, this is actually a really nice rich black. But let me just show you this brush. It's actually not pointed. Do you see how it kind of flattens out, and you can see that it's got kind of a straight tip to it? So I'm wondering if that's why I had a little bit of a struggle getting that point on the wing. It's also maybe why I'm struggling with getting those thinner lines too. I feel that the weird blunt tip of this brush means I really need to be mindful of the angle that I'm holding it. I don't know if maybe I just got like a weirdly cut brush or if they're all like this, but I don't like how flat the brush lays. But let's see how it does, because I do like how dark it is and the matte finish. So win me over, butter eyeliner. Let's go. So I did just upload my new picks for the 5 best drugstore mascaras, and in that video I mentioned this one. In fact, I feel like I'm talking about this so much lately. It's the Revlon So Fierce Big Bad Lash Mascara. It really adds length, volume, and lift, and it does not flake or smear throughout the day, so that's really all I can ask for. Okay, I gotta admit, as I see this eye look coming together, I'm warming up to the eyeshadow a little bit more. Like, now that I'm seeing the eyeliner and the mascara sort of tie everything up, that darker green doesn't look as out of place as it did just looking at the shadow on its own. I don't know why, but I'm not hating as much as I was like 5 minutes ago. I think maybe just the addition of like the black liner specifically offset a little bit of that grayish tone that I started to see with the green. Now everything's just looking a little bit more true to color in contrast. Okay, I'm just gonna throw on a little bit of cream bronzer before moving along. This is the Physicians Formula Sculpting Bronzer. Nothing new here, one of my favorite cream bronzers ever. Super excited to test out this next product. This is the On The Glow Blush Tinted Moisture Stick. So definitely expecting some dewiness from these. They come in 3 shades, and I do think I want to go with sort of the more apricot or orange leaning one. This packaging just makes me laugh because it looks like deodorant. And like deodorant, I've learned that instead of struggling with this plastic thing and like trying to peel it off, all you gotta do is twist up, and then it comes off. Did you know that? Or did you struggle with pulling deodorant caps off for years like I did? So I'm just gonna go ahead and sort of like dab it, just so we don't drag the foundation underneath. Oh, that is so pretty. It is very much a sheer wash of color, but it's actually kind of building up pretty fast. Just gonna take a stipple brush and blend that out. Oh, I love this shade. This is gorgeous. Yeah, that is a really nice just pop. Definitely on the more foolproof side of cream products because it's blending out really easily and shearing out, so you don't have to be too worried about over application. This would be perfect for like a glowy, dewy glass skin type of look as well. So this shade is called Juicy, Hydrating Solid Cheek Tint, and apparently you can use it on the lips as well. It says use on the cheeks and lips. Why don't we do that? So we will come back to that in just a second. This is the Wet n Wild Hello Halo Blushlighter. As you can see, it is a duo product. We have sort of this highlighting blush and then a highlighter. And I think I'll just use the highlighting side. This is the version called I Met Someone. This looked a little less metallic, just, you know, from the visual than their Mega Glow blush. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so yes, as suspected, it's a little less metallic, but still very noticeable and pretty strong actually. For me, I'm getting more of a soft glow versus like a harsh beam, which I really like. There's really no noticeable shimmer at all, like shimmer or glitter particles that I can pick out. It's very much pigment dependent, so it looks very smooth and cohesive. Okay. Paired with like the dewy blush, this is just like so much glow. All right, let's revisit the On The Glow blush stick and see how it does on the lips. I guess I'll just apply it straight and see how that works. The skinny shape makes it a little easy for that, although you're not gonna, you know, get super precision. I think for the corners, I'm gonna go in with my finger. Honestly, getting a little bit more color on the lips than I expected, although as I sort of spread it, it'll sheer out. Okay, so here's what it looks like after I've just lightly patted it out on the lips, blended it a little bit. I love how obviously it matches the blush. Monochromatic makeup that matches different elements of your face is very in this year. And it's feeling very comfortable on the lips, and I can't say that for a lot of 2-in-1 multi-purpose products that go on both the lips and the face. A lot of the times they'll end up feeling powdery on the lips or make like a weird cast because it's really, you know, designed to give you a better finish on the skin. But because this is more of a moisturizing product with a dewier finish, it actually feels comfortable on the lips. It feels like it's blending in versus sitting on top. All right, I don't know about you, but I actually love how this look came out. So I'll wear this look as long as possible today, and I will update you with the results of its performance in a few. And I am back. It's been 8.5 hours since I put this makeup on. Now, unfortunately, it was actually raining today and I did not go out, so I wasn't able to test this makeup against the elements. But as y'all know, I do have combo skin. I get relatively oily in my T-zone, so let's see how this makeup held up. I will zoom you in. All right, let's check in with this foundation first. I'm actually impressed because I'm not really seeing any fading of the coverage. I still feel like I am fully covered right now. All of my blemishes are still concealed. I did have some dark spots around my chin and over here. Everything is still looking really smooth. Now, I was really nervous because I did notice early on that the foundation was sort of bunching or cracking in my laugh lines and on my forehead. But funny enough, those areas look smoother now than they did earlier today. So I feel like maybe my natural oils sort of refreshed the makeup there. I don't know. But like there's no crack or creasing in my laugh line right now, and I swear it was there before and I didn't blend it out. Just checking my nose as well, I'm not seeing my pores poke through. There looks like there is the slightest bit of redness peeking out on my nostril, like right in the center where I do get the oiliest. But other than that, I'm floored with how blurred my skin still looks right now. If y'all are interested in me doing like a full day wear test of this foundation in the heat on a sunny day, let me know and I will see how it holds up then. But if you're sitting in an office or a classroom all day, this is definitely a foundation that can go day to night. Now again, I was not sweating today, so I wasn't able to really put the brow product to the test in that way. However, I did notice that if I was just itching or rubbing at my brow, the product did transfer slightly and it would come off of my skin very easily. Like just right now, I'm kind of tapping at the front and you can sort of see it fading away. So it's definitely not transfer proof. So yeah, I'm just not a fan of that brow pencil. The eyeshadow still looks good. It looks incredibly vibrant. I did use that Milani primer underneath, which is a solid eyeshadow primer, but let's talk about this eyeliner. Y'all know that I had some issues with it in terms of the application. I'm not sure if my brush just got cut weird or if they're all that blunt. If you have this eyeliner, please let me know if that's normal in the comments. But it really did hang in there. It still looks very fresh right now. It's very rich. There's no fading. There's no flaking or crumbling, which is something that I do experience sometimes with waterproof or water resistant eyeliners. And it's still looking really good. And y'all know I'm so picky when it comes to liquid eyeliner. So for right now, I don't hate this one. I do wish the brush was slightly shaped differently, but as far as performance, this is definitely up there with some of the best that I've tried from the drugstore. As far as the blush and lip color goes, as you can see, there's not really much color left on my lips, so it's definitely more of a lip tint, or it performs sort of like a tinted lip balm. As soon as I ate lunch, pretty much all the color came off. But on my face, I can definitely still see that wash of color. It might be slightly faded from this morning. I mean, we started out on the sheerer side to begin with, but it's still there and it still looks even. It still looks looks bouncy with a little bit of dewiness. And this highlight is still going strong. This highlight paired with the cream blush, I mean, this is a glow that I can get used to. Have you tried any of these products, or did you add something new to your shopping list today? Let me know in the comments below. Today's shout out goes to Madeline. Thanks for being a member of the Slashed Squad. And join me over in this video next where I share my updated list of the 5 best drugstore mascaras in 2021. I'll see you over there. Bye!